Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Roaming Talk here at the Roaming Shot Range in Slaughter, Louisiana. Guys, thanks for tuning in on the previous podcast and all the text and emails that we've been getting back, the feedback, guys. We really appreciate it. This week, I got my business partner and friend, Dwayne. We're going to talk just different hunts that we've been on, equipment that we've used in the U.S. or the lower 48, New Zealand, and Alaska. They just got back from Alaska this past season and had some adventures out there. So we're going to hit those topics. Well, man, you had quite the adventure last year. You got to go and smoke down some cool animals, some really nice animals. I guess starting back really the end of 2023, you went to New Mexico and smoked. Was it 2023 or 2024?
It was 2023.
Yeah, smoked a giant bull in where were you at? Folsom, over there with Larry.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. So that was your second hunt out there with him. What did you learn from the first hunt that you didn't bring on the first one that you brought on the second one? And how was that hunt different than the first one? And you killed a good bull the first one too.
Yeah, I killed a very good bull on the first one, man. And you learn every time you go out into the field.
Absolutely.
You know, you learn what gear to use, what gear not to use, and it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere's different.
Yeah.
What I use in New Mexico, I may not use in New Zealand.
Right.
What I use in New Zealand, I won't use in Alaska. Terrain's different, different gear, different weights. It all depends on kind of how far you're getting out into the wilderness. You know, if you got a truck pretty close, I may have a heavier tripod.
Right.
You get out there chasing doll sheep, you want as light a gear as you can possibly have.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm heavy gear built in. So,
so I'm as light as possible.
Yeah, I'm gonna suck wind no matter what. I'm gonna shoot them from the bottom and let you go and tell me where we hit them.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the first year that I went out in 2022, I had my backpack so full that, I mean, I was wore out the first day because I was packing in everything that I thought I could use. And the next trip, I made sure that I only took what I had to have.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. So my tripods got lighter, man, and the amount of stuff I brought in my bag, all my survival gear and everything else, it just started shrinking a little bit, just get a little bit lighter. Yeah.
So I think on a lot of forums and stuff on Facebook, we talked about I Hunt Colorado multiple times, and it's funny how you see guys that go through that exact same thing every year. Everybody's asking, hey man, what pack, what this, what that, and they'll send a pack list that's as big as this table. And you're like, goodness, man, there ain't no way. Yeah, there ain't no way I'm packing all that stuff. And then you learn after the first year, or even when you get out there after the first day, and you start chopping that pack down.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that first trip, shooting positions is everything.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to lock in, getting your elbows stable, and being able to shoot from different positions, your knees, sitting down, standing up. You never know what's going to be in front of you.
Right.
So if you're not comfortable with shooting in all those positions, then you could miss out on your trophy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And so the first year I was pretty uncomfortable with shooting in different positions. Mm-hmm. So I had to shoot a bull from a sitting position, what I trained most at. Mm-hmm. And then the next year it didn't matter where I was. I could go prone, I could go on knees, I could stand up, or I could sit down. Yeah. And I learned how to kind of lock in my elbows in every position so I could make that shot. Yeah.
Yeah, so on that second bull you dumped, the guy was like, man, I don't know. He was at 4 something, and he was just, anybody else, he wasn't going to let take that shot. But you hit him, and he stood up, reared up, and flipped over, and that was it.
And that's right. And he reared up like a bronco and fell over dead. Yeah. And I think the guy was more excited than me because he didn't think I could make that shot.
Yeah.
It was a very bad angle.
Yeah.
And he didn't want me to take it. And I said, I promise you one thing, I will not miss.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, then go ahead.
Dump him. That's right.
That's right.
So he likes the 300 PRC, which is, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the 300 PRC. I like the 7. We've shot 300s, we shot 338s. Matter of fact, we just built you a 338, which we'll talk about later on in the show. But the older I get, the more that I've backed down on recoil, which is hilarious. But I found, shot placement is king. But man, he smoked 2 giant bulls, and then we're about to talk about your next trip. But that 300 PRC is a punisher, and it'll get them done. It'll get it done. So, at Larry's, that was like the last day of the hunt. So it was like as always, a storybook ending on that, wasn't it? It was like the last.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was getting down to the last day, and we saw this bull on day number 2. And he tried to get me to shoot a lot of other bulls, but I already saw this bull.
Yeah.
So that was in my head. That was the one that I was going after. And there was a bunch of 6s that he wanted me to shoot. And I told him, finally, I said, look, I'll pay full price with a good tip and go home empty-handed if I don't kill that bull. That's the only one that I'm after, and that's the one that I'm going to kill, or I'm not killing anything.
Yeah, that's right. Man, it's hard to pass. Once you see one, you get a taste of one that you want, it's hard to move on to anything else.
Yeah. So. And then the last day, man, when we were up there, he was right on the property line with about 50 cows, and I was propped up. I was sitting down, had both elbows locked in, and when he jumped the fence, I was going to shoot him.
Yeah.
And it was going to be 1,300 yard shot, and I was prepared to take it.
Yeah.
I was going to kill that bull.
Yeah.
And then the landowner beside us ended up driving up on a side-by-side, and they all jumped the fence, run on top this mountain, and we made a 3-mile run. So I was huffing and puffing when I made that shot.
Yeah.
We were able to get all the way around, spot him on the side of the mountain, and we shot him with all the cows.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is we got to see all the cows just kind of walk around after I shot him, because, I mean, it was nothing but a little crack with that suppressor.
Yeah.
And then I got to watch the animals for a while.
Yeah, the suppressor's a game changer. It don't, on any caliber. But, man, yeah, that's sweet. And that's a fun hunt, man. You had a goal, and you sat there and waited him out. During that, didn't you have it rained on y'all that week, didn't it?
It sure did.
Yeah, and
I had one little tarp, and we had 3 full-grown men underneath that little tarp snuggling in a rainstorm.
Yeah, I wish I had that picture in the Google Drive. He sent me a picture, and it's all 3 of them, and he goes, got them. They were all under a tarp. I said, you got everything in that MacGyver bag.
No, yeah.
So, heck yeah.
You got to be prepared, especially when you're hunting Alaska.
That's right. I went with a guy recently that he was carrying the coffee and I was carrying the water. So we're trying to divide things up. So I had the jet boil, and we hike up this mountain, get up to the top of it. And at that point, I'm too hot to drink coffee. So I wait a little while. We glass. We see a bunch of mule deer. Don't see anything that we want. And I get my jet boil out, fill it up with water, get the jet boil turned on. I look over at my partner. So hand me the coffee. And he's been watching me the whole time set up. And he said, I just didn't have the heart to tell you. I forgot it at camp.
I said, here's some hot water.
I about threw it on your face. So, yeah, so I carried the coffee and the water the rest of the week. Pump.
Then I carried him. When Ben got tired, I carried him.
Yeah, that's a fact. Man. I was tired. You punked me because I had everything in my bag.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
I'd love to see you.
That anemic rascal was walking circles around me up there. But so when you did that shot, you were what were you on? Were you on the bipod or were you on the backpack?
I was on the bipod.
Bipod. So you were using the Atlas, the one we normally use. We normally use the Atlas BT10. And it works great. I love it on everything. So, and I'll throw, if it's a steep angle, I'll throw my backpack down and put the bipod on my backpack. And then I have my bag, the lightweight bag we have that stays clipped on my backpack, throw it down and ready to roll.
That's right.
So, so when you went to New Zealand after New Mexico, that was where you went next, wasn't it?
Yes.
Or did you? No, y'all went caribou. You went caribou with Lonnie.
Yeah, I went caribou with Lonnie, and then New Zealand was the following year. That's right. It was August. We went caribou hunting.
Yeah, and what gear were you using different from New Mexico to Alaska on the caribou?
Now, it was pretty similar that I had on that hunt. I brought everything that I had with me in New Mexico, but I ended up bringing a Spartan Springbok. Springbok just come out with that little bipod that could go up to about 36 inches high.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you're hunting in the tundra, I try to get on a knee, on a tussock, and then I try to get up above it. You can't really shoot off of a shorter bipod in Alaska when you're in the tussock because everything's just kind of higher.
Yeah.
You got to get up.
Yeah.
So it's either a tripod or a tall bipod.
Did you were you sitting on your butt on that, or did you have the little chair that what was that little chair?
Yeah, it was the Helinox.
Yeah, Helinox. Yeah.
I had that with me, but I didn't shoot off of that.
Yeah.
The bull that I shot there, I had to be on one knee on a taller tussock.
Had to be elevated.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had to be elevated.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about that hunt is man, I stalked this bull and it was rolling hills, kind of tussock in between. It was horrible tundra, and I was talking to my buddy when I was on my way over there, and he was telling me, man, you got to get closer. You got to get closer. I was like, dude, I have him at 400 yards. That's it.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, but 300 is a lot better. I said, man, at 400, man, I can hit the hair that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And there was 3 bulls just laying there. So the big bull was kind of in the back. The 2 littler ones got up and started walking around, and I was watching them, and I saw him kind of ruffle like this a little bit. I said, oh yeah,
here he comes.
He's about to get up. So I got on the gun, and man, he stood up. And I shot, and he laid back down. That was it.
Perfect.
His buddies had no clue.
Yeah.
They sat there and ate forever.
Yeah, it's suppressed too. The only things, Timmy's taking a nap. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah, I love it.
So I shot with the tripod, didn't have to use the Springbok
Yeah.
that go round.
What tripod were you running on that one?
That's a Spartan.
The Spartan. Okay. I couldn't remember if you were using the Spartan or the, I don't know why I was thinking you have a 2 vets. You don't have a 2 vets. You got the 2 vets.
That's me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Spartan.
Gotcha. And which the Spartan's pretty cool. We put a gunsmith adapter in his stock before he left to go up on that hunt. And the Spartans, if you haven't seen them, they're ultra lightweight gear, and it just snaps. Does that one go 2 different directions, or that's just the bipod? The bipod, you can lock it.
Yeah, the bipod, you can lock it.
Yeah,
it's just a magnet stud.
Yeah.
That's on the tripod, and you can set the frictions. And it's already
So you can set the friction on the tripod.
You can set the friction.
Okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And it's good having that out in Alaska because I use the legs as walking sticks.
Yeah.
So
I remember you telling me that.
I had the walking sticks, and I can switch my binoculars, my spotting scope, and my gun extremely fast.
On one deal. Yeah.
On one deal.
Yeah. So we were talking about knives a minute ago before we just by chance. I use the whatever that one is over there. I was just fussing about it.
Oh yeah, the interchangeable blades.
Yeah, what's
The Outdoor Edge?
Outdoor Edge. So I was just crying because I had an Outdoor Edge that I lost last year that I'd had for 8 or 10 years. I'd skinned everything that I've killed for the last 8 or 10 years plus clients and lost it. And then my wife got me one for Christmas, and it was too thin, and I got large hands. It was too thin for me, and me and Chris were going to go up to go shoot a bunch of does up in North Louisiana, and we stopped at a place and got it, and it had a thicker one, so I gave Chris the other one. But what I like about it too is it has the gut hook on it, so I mean you can rip them down real quick, and then you don't have to change the blade. I mean, like we talked, I go through 1, maybe 2 blades per animal. The Aoudad recently, I think I was burning 2 blades per Aoudad. But what was one you were telling me about that you used?
It's Argali.
Argali?
So Argali makes a really good one. And I was able to skin an entire moose with it, and it was still sharp after that.
So is it interchangeable blades?
It's not interchangeable.
Okay, so it's just a good knife.
Real good blade.
Okay.
And once it gets sharp, it stays sharp for a long time.
Okay, perfect. And that you can debone with it too, or you got to swap knives to debone?
Yeah, you can debone with it as well.
Pop joints and all?
It's kind of a shorter, fatter blade.
Okay.
So you really want a longer, skinnier blade to be able to debone.
Right.
But
field deboning.
Yeah, field deboning is not fun. But
yeah.
Most of your areas in Alaska, you got to leave the bone in.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's right.
you're not able to debone in the field anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Problem with the interchangeable blades, if you ever hit that button and you leave the blade down in there in the meat,
Yep.
you're trying to dig it back out.
Yeah, I've done it.
And when you're about 500 miles away from the hospital,
Yeah.
any hospital, and you got to go by plane, you want to fix blade a
That's
little
right.
more.
I understand that. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something I never thought about.
Yeah.
So yeah, good idea. So after you shot the caribou, same thing. You shot him with a 300 PRC. Spring comes around and you go to New Zealand.
Yep. Yeah.
You hunted a bunch, you rascal.
It was a trip I was supposed to go on in 2020.
Right.
And then, of course, COVID got us and New Zealand shut down. We couldn't go over there. So we just waited. And I'm so glad that happened because I didn't have the confidence in 2020 that I had in 2020. 2024
Yeah.
or 2023.
Right.
So it got better and better because I didn't know you then,
Yeah.
you know, and I was trying to figure out how to get my rifle to shoot good past 300 and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's bouncing all over the place and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
So, man, it was good. It was a God thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I made sure that I did the paperwork. It took about 4 months to get the rifle set up, but I was so confident in the rifle, I didn't want to shoot another one.
Right.
Because I knew we were going to be flying through the mountains in a helicopter, chasing tar, and then we were going to be chasing stag right after that.
Yeah.
And it was a world-class trip. I was going to be able to shoot something really nice, and I wanted my 300 PRC
That's
in my
right.
hand. So got the paperwork done in 4 months, able to get it over there. It wasn't too bad to get it through customs and all that junk that you got to go through.
Yeah.
But when I got over there, and I shot it right off the plane, it perked up everybody's ears.
Yeah.
And man, it was kind of the centerpiece at that moment.
Yeah. Well, that's what you were saying. Their cans, I've never been to New Zealand. You said their cans are a lot louder than our cans over here. Just, I guess because you can buy them off the shelf. So there's,
Yes.
I guess they're just trying to, I don't know. I could be wrong on this. I don't have any education on it, but I'm guessing they're just, whoever gets them off the assembly line faster or whatever, or there's not that big of a supply and demand over there for them, I guess. So
Yeah, I mean, an average can, you're looking at $200-$300, and people are trying to stay within those margins.
Yeah.
And you can't make a good quality can for that.
Wow.
you can't.
Yeah.
So they were big, they were heavy, and man, it was loud.
Yeah.
And so when I put that little can on the end of mine, they started kind of making fun of me.
Uh-huh.
You know, well, what kind of little toy did you bring?
Yeah.
You know, from America over
And
here.
then dink.
And then I went pink. Wait a minute,
Yeah.
man, our guns were still wearing earmuffs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They didn't have to wear any earplugs with me.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They're a game changer, man. We've killed, we had a group of us and we killed multiple bull elk out of a herd before. White-tailed deer, we were able to kill several deer out of a group. I mean, they just don't, or you shoot one and just sit back and watch them. You know, so it's a, long as there's no. So we get questioned on this. So long as you don't move after you shoot, and long as you kill the animal you're shooting. When I mean kill them, I mean you drop them. You turn the light switch off. So as long as you're doing that, the animals are going to hang out. They may get spooked for a second, just kind of wonder what's going on, but it doesn't sound like a gunshot. It's just a crack. So
Yeah.
they're nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't. We have a range, and I mess with people all the time when they come out. Like, man, you trashy rascal, when you gonna get a suppressor? You want them to have a suppressor, and
Spoils you.
oh man, it does. Just because you're so used to not, I'm an idiot. I should have my hearing protection on more, but it's nice to I can sit there and be working on a gun and somebody shoot and they're suppressed and it doesn't catch me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Don't want to smear your lipstick on your face when they
That's,
shoot.
that's right. Gotta keep them pretty.
That's gross.
But
Look, so I pulled up a picture. This is Dwayne here.
Yeah.
New Zealand, right? This is from there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. That's when you're on the.
That's on the stag hunt
Yeah, on the
right
stag
there.
part,
So the
yeah.
first hunt that we made was the tar. So right after we got finished shooting, man, they were like, all right, today's our only good day. Let's go get in a helicopter
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
We jump in the helicopter and we're flying through the most treacherous terrain you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, where in the world am I going to step out of this helicopter? So got on some tar and they were running. And so the helicopter dropped us off. He said, all right, get out. Get out.
Where?
Where?
So he put one of the landing gear right on the edge of the mountain. And man, I got out and you hold on to your hat and everything else and he takes off. So you're stuck on the side of this mountain. Then he goes and he starts wrangling these things, man. And they are running. They're quick, you know? So they're running up the side of these cliffs full blast, man. You're wondering how in the world they're sticking to them. And they were running and they went behind a rock. And so it was two of them.
Yeah.
And they laid down underneath that rock. And the helicopter was trying to get him out from behind, and they're like, nah. No, we saw him shoot.
Not today.
Nah.
Yeah, we saw him shoot.
One of them poked his head out around the rock, and all you could see was from about here up. There's a little patch right underneath that you could see that was a little different color. The guide said, man, he ain't going to come out from that rock, man. We got to do something different. He said, we don't have to do anything different. I said, I'll put it in that patch underneath his chin. He said, man, we got a valley between us. He was up the other side of the mountain. And he said, you can do that? I said, yep, watch this. I shot, boom. He said, man, you missed that thing. And then he laid down.
Perfect.
I didn't miss.
You got a picture of that? Yeah, there
Yeah.
it is
So
there.
right here.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a hunt. Huh?
Look at the background.
That's what I'm looking at.
It's like, boop, painting. Yes. Beautiful painting right there.
Yeah.
Just a watercolor everywhere you go there.
Oh, man. I love the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Yeah, and then it started chasing stag after that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So on the tar real quick, what bipod and stuff did you use on that one? Did you use a rear bag? Was it all off rocks, pack?
Yeah, that was the bipod.
Okay.
Yeah, the Atlas.
Okay, so it was the Atlas on that one.
There's a lot of rocks available, so I was able to lean against a rock, and I put the bipod up on the rock.
Oh, I think we might have a picture of that.
Yeah, I do.
Put the bipod on the rock. That's the rock that I shot from right there. Yep, that's it. So I was just able to get on it right behind there, make the shot.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yep.
I took a picture right where the gun was sitting right after I made the shot.
Yeah. Look at the angle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
You know, it's crazy. Like, pictures never do it justice when steep angles like that.
Yeah.
So
you're right. Yeah.
That's got to be really steep.
Yeah. So one thing we haven't talked about yet the whole time is, what are you using to gather your data on all these shots?
I'm using the Vortex.
Vortex Furies.
Binoculars, yeah.
So we're about to upgrade him to the Sig Kilo Gen 2s. Oh man, you haven't. No, they're sick. They're sick. So fast. Because the Furies, man, I've used them for probably 5 years now, 5 or 6 years. Not long after they came out with them with applied ballistics. I think it was 5 years. Anyway, I may be wrong on that. Somewhere up around in there. And man, it's it's a cheat code. I mean, it just your angle, like how you had a steep angle on that one. It calculates the angle, temperature, pressure. I can't remember. I think those do latitude as well. But anyway, everything you need to get air density as well is factored into those. So east and west, your vertically tovis or in aerodynamic jump, it handles all that. So swapping from there to the Furies, and the Furies, I mean, are great. They just take a second or two, and we would still be using the Furies had they kept using the applied ballistics, but they're swapped over to they're coming out in geo ballistics now, which I don't have enough time in them. I've got a lot of faith in applied ballistics. It's worked for us for years, so it's hard not to trust applied ballistics. So
yeah,
the new ones are sick. No, they're sick. I'll bring them with us tomorrow and let you check them out. You're gonna love them.
Well, the wind was blowing pretty good that day too.
Yeah.
So I was comfortable with applied ballistics. We work wind a lot.
Yeah.
So the wind was pumping out of the mountains and coming down a draw, kind of in between me and the tar sheep.
Yeah.
And I was able to quickly set it, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. I put it on 12 and let it eat.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. Perfect.
It worked.
And you use the same for all your hunts, really. I mean, for the elk, for both elk hunts. So the first time that he went on a elk hunt, we hadn't known each other, but man, I don't know maybe a month and a half, 2 months, something like that. We've shot together, but we hadn't shot a ton together.
Right.
And Larry calls me, and I don't think at that time we didn't have the 1,000 yet. So that time your furthest shot was 500.
That's right.
And so Larry calls me, and I said either he got one or Larry's about to chew me out. So Larry calls me. I said, "What's the news?" He goes, "Oh, he missed." I said, "He missed? At what?" And he goes, like 825. I was like, oh.
849.
849, yeah. And I think the wind was blowing, and it was.
Misread the wind.
Yeah.
When we cut the hair on his brisket.
That's right. So they send me the video, and I was like, dude, you got to give him credit on that. He'd never shot that before, and we really don't. He's never had any training really on wind a lot on that, So, and they were all pumped though. It wasn't a negative call. It was a good call when he called. He was like, he missed, but it was a heck of a shot,
Yeah, me and Colton, the guy, he started celebrating even though I missed. He's like, I can't believe you got that close.
Yeah.
He cut his hair. That was awesome.
It went right in front of the shoulder through the mane.
Yep.
And you could see it part the mane.
That's right.
Yep.
If it wouldn't have hit the rock behind it and made a pap, he would never would have
he wouldn't have gone nowhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, switching back to New Zealand, after the tar hunt, we started hunting stag.
Yeah.
So we hunted for a couple days before I spotted one that I really wanted. And we got one that I really wanted. And it took a little while to get on him, but we were able to get on him. And that was over a 500-yard shot.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He laid down. It popped him. He laid down. It was a big old bull, man. It ended up scoring like 626.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Big bull. Beautiful bull.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Crown like crazy.
Look at that rascal, huh?
Yep. Man, so we got to celebrate for a little while, went back to camp, celebrating, and it was my buddy's turn to hunt, and he went with his bow.
Yeah.
Why
I
he went
remember
with his bow to New Zealand, man, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But we hunted the next day, and I was with him.
Yeah.
So we were getting on a bull, and he was able to set up on a path that they knew that he was going to come down, and he popped him right on the top of the back. I saw the arrow sticking out the top of his back like this when he was running. And he was with a group of bulls, and the guy had looked at me that was hunting with the tar, and he went, "Get the cannon."
Get the cannon.
Get the cannon.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got the cannon, and man, he was running up the hill, and he was pretty far. I said, "Look, get here, prop on this rock. I'm gonna call dope and dial and kill him." So man, he got out in the open, and he dialed, and it was 600 and something yards.
Perfect.
And he told me what I need to do would win. I said, "Hold it dead on him. You're perfect." So called dope, and he dropped him in his tracks. And then God went crazy. He said, "I gotta have these guns."
Yeah.
He was more excited about the shot than the animal.
Oh yeah,
you
well,
know?
and being a guide and then going with a bunch of guides, you get to see a lot of sketchy stuff. You know, like guys come in, you think prepared, and either buck fever hits them or equipment failures, and it's typically more equipment failures than anything. And the setups that we have are about as fail safe as you can get.
Yeah.
You know, so it's when you get something that comes into camp and it does everything you want it to do every time. Yeah, you can't help but get excited about
Oh
that.
yeah, well, he's gonna have to chase that animal for 2 days.
Right,
trying to kill it.
Right, or lose it.
Yes, that's right.
You know, then the client's upset, then the outfitter's upset. So it's just not a good outcome.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right.
but that was a great outcome.
Great outcome.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right tool for the job.
Gotta have the cannon, baby.
That's right. Yeah. So so you go from New Zealand, and I think you went around and toured some mushroom houses or something. I forgot what you said you were doing.
The Hobbit houses,
The
and
Hobbit
stuff,
houses,
whatever it was. I wanted to shoot an orc, but we couldn't find one.
Yeah.
We got an
You
orc
got to
eye.
stay out of my house.
Yeah, but I
man.
Chris, you probably saw Chris. Chris's people. Yeah, you knew where I was going with that, you rascal.
Oh, I knew it.
You got
I
me
saw
to
it coming.
Oh, man.
We're strength in numbers. Remember that.
Good thing
Like
we're on air. It gets way worse.
That's right.
Not being recorded.
That's right. That's right. So after that, you had a big caribou hunt. After that, you had I'll let you lead into it, but I'll lead into it a little bit. But you had a boat built, you had an itinerary built, food for days, fuel for days. You got Chris to come out and film.
Yep.
And we're talking about a caribou hunt in Alaska. So I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. So the first year we were there, we were hunting by airboat as well.
Yeah.
So we were pretty successful. Found the herd. Was able to get on them pretty good. So we had a company out of Texas build us another one, bigger cab, and we wanted to chase them hard the next year.
Yeah.
So you rolled on in, and man, it was a long trip. We started in southern Alaska, went all the way up kind of to the northern part, Dead Horse, and right south of there is called the Ivachek River, and that's where we put in and ran up to Ivachek to hunt them again. Yeah. And man, it was something. It's different, being from South Louisiana.
Yeah,
all the water doesn't flow too fast. We climbed altitude a lot, and they had some skinny areas that were treacherous, and then it fanned out a little bit where it was a little bit better. But it's a danger around every corner.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is you're constantly getting beat up the whole time. Your gear's getting beat up. You're ramping banks. We had a couple scares. We took flight on a couple of them because the water was rushing so fast. But you grab your gun and you're confident that you're going to drive tacks right after that. You're throwing it in the bottom of the airboat. And when you leave the ground or leave the water a few times and go airborne and hit, you're worried that, man, my gun's off.
Yeah.
And growing up, your gun would have been off.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single time, just bumping it. Mm-hmm. But man, we tortured all the gear a lot and was able to get out into the mountains. And we hunted for a few days in some different spots. Couldn't really get on the herd, but we sure did try. And then
2 weeks, I think, huh?
Ooh, yeah.
We were out there.
Yeah, for 2 weeks. I didn't know when Chris had to go back, man.
A week before he did.
I wanted to keep staying. Yeah. Like, good thing we didn't have service. We didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And, I got the picture of y'all cuddling.
We ain't gonna put that on there. We were cold.
Bring it up.
Yeah.
We were cold.
Yeah. And just keep in mind too, this was my first like ever backpack style hunting. So it was quite a shock to me, you know, for sure.
It's all about layering, you know, and if you don't have the right layers, you'll freeze to death out there. Yeah. And talk to Chris a lot before you come out, just to kind of coach you through the gear. And I had a lot of gear that I could fill in with, and it was my son's clothes. He could fit in them good.
He already
12,
grew out,
you know. So
his hand-me-downs.
He fit good in them. So great little tent partner too, man. I had so much room in there. Yeah. You know. He had a backpack with all his gear in it. Yeah. You know, and that's all he needed.
Did he have the coffee?
I didn't trust him with that.
Yeah. When you called me,
I didn't
trust
him with that.
Man, we had coffee first thing in the morning, every morning.
Oh yeah, I took care of him. Took care of him.
We're gonna fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But it was funny because you went a while with the gear, and I kept telling you, man, put on your super downs, and he was layering, and he was good and thick, but he was still freezing to death. Mm-hmm. Finally, he listened to me, and he put on the super down. He's like, my gosh, this is warm. This is wonderful.
I mean, I was stacked up like the Michelin, like tire man almost. I was just thick, layered up.
I can tell you, in Colorado, that rascal was warm. He never made a peep.
No.
Except for snoring. That was it.
Well, he never took the super down off after that. He slept in it and everything.
Same in Colorado.
Same in Colorado.
Nice
I still wear it at the house. I mean, it's crazy. I love it.
Got a Google Meet with him. He's in bed and his super down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, that last area we went, you know, it was probably the most beautiful place I've ever hunted.
Oh yeah.
It was just like you were in a movie the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What like layers, and we didn't talk about this at the beginning, we should have. What's your base layer? What are you running base layer?
Yeah, I run mostly all KUIU stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll have a base layer, a mid layer, an outer layer, and then a protection layer. Okay, yeah, those are my four main things. That's my four main shells that I put on, and normally my base layer never comes off the whole time that I hunt. Yeah, you know, alpaca socks, I love those.
Yeah, those are
they're a game changer.
Oh yeah, I love them.
They're an absolute game changer. My feet stay warm the entire time, and you take them off, you get in your sleep, you take off your boots, you get in your sleeping bag.
Still got the socks on.
Yeah, still got the socks on.
Oh, yeah?
No.
So I've got the same pair that I've had for at least since 2018, maybe 2017. And, you know, I use them all the time except for turkey season. But any other hunt I'm doing, and they're still, they're longevity socks. We use I think they're Alpaca USA is the ones that I run. Mm-hmm. But they don't even really show any sign of wear. Now the hair on them now is about frayed out like that. But as far as like wearing through or any bald spots in the socks or whatever, they're solid.
Yeah.
So, but all your stuff was KUIU. What were you running, Chris?
Believe it or not, I was running almost the same gear because Dwayne and I had called each other a couple of times, kind of pre-planning everything. It's like, look, this is what you need to have: base layer, mid layer, outer layer. Mm-hmm. You know, this is what I use. You don't have to go out and buy the same stuff, but, you know, you get what you pay for when you're buying this gear. And 100% true, especially with KUIU. I mean, that stuff is legit. You get what you pay for with that gear, especially when you're going out in the elements like that. Mm-hmm. It's no joke. Yeah. I mean, you can seriously, you know, freeze to death or something, you know, God forbid, if you're not prepared.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and there was many a times where it started drizzling, and I said, "Get your rain gear on now." Yeah, it's like, man, it's drizzling. You know, around here, if it starts drizzling, it's probably gonna stop within a couple minutes, and you're fine. But when it starts drizzling there, I mean, it's your life. Depending on your gear. So,
and once you're wet, that's it. That's it. That's a wrap.
That's right. So he got on his rain gear immediately, and then 3 hours later, when it stops, he's like, man, I sure am glad I put on that rain gear.
What you were running the KUIU rain gear too?
Right. So here's some pictures. Dwayne and I, we were just glassing out in the tundras out here, and
see, so right there, you're running the Swaro. That's the 60 power.
That is the 65.
65.
I believe it's a 20 to 60 millimeter, 20 to 60 power 65 millimeter.
Gotcha. Okay. And that is the Spartan tripod there.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I see that sexy rifle in the background.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Chris, that's your 2-vets on the other side. That's what you were using. Man, that 2-vets has come in so handy.
Yeah, I mean, I use it for camera gear.
Yeah, I know you do, but
it's
man,
meant for guns.
Yeah, we use it all the
works
time.
great.
Their reverse deploy, I love it. I absolutely love it. And on that one, you brought,
and you can see boots that we were wearing out there in the tundras, and they're like rubber boots basically. But man, they are perfect for the tundras out there. Dwayne had called it. It was absolutely a must to have these boots.
So I haven't hunted out there. So is any of that grounds like stubble, like sticks? Do you stub on anything, or is it all pretty smooth?
Man, it's tussock. It's like a marshy, spongy ground out there. And so you're always kind of staying wet, your boots. And then if it drops below freezing at night, you're putting on icy boots in the morning.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's the only thing that I've had some what are they called? Mud duck? No. Anyway,
it's like duck boots.
Yeah,
basically.
well they have there's a rubber boot that we tried to use in Colorado one year. And man, that rubber just gets my feet cold. It don't matter what sock I have on it. So whenever Chris showed up in Colorado with those things, like, what do you have on your feet? And he said, these work. I said, he said, I used them up there. I said, well, there's got to be something to it, but I don't know if they make big boy size.
We'll see. We'll squeeze you in some.
Let's grease them up. So you had your boots, you ran everything basically KUIU. Looked like a catalog walking out. Around out there. So.
Yeah, pretty much, man. They got lightweight gear, and it's nice to be able to have real light stuff.
Yeah.
You know, super down is a must. It'll save your life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go anywhere. If it's calling for 65-degree weather, I put my super downs in there because you never know what's going to happen when you get out there. The weather's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's going to go in my pack every single time is my super down bottoms and tops.
Yeah.
I bring both of them.
Yeah. I use pretty much I look like a Bass Pro catalog. I can't find boots that fit me. I wanted some not Keens, Kenetrex, but they stop at 13. They don't make a 14 double E. So I wanted some of those. All the other boots that I wanted, can't get them. So Bass Pro makes some, and I've got like 3 pair of them. And I break the laces more than anything on them, but they last a while. I use a Carhartt underlayer for the longest time, and then you taught me into like 3 years ago to getting the KUIU on the base layer. And man, that was the best decision I ever made. I swapped to that base layer, and I mean, it is so thin, but it is so warm. It's just as warm as that heavy Carhartt. And, it probably weighs a third, if not a quarter the weight of the KUIU, of the, whatever I'm saying. The KUIU or the Carhartt.
Yeah,
way lighter.
I think
on
it was
the
Ultra Merino that you got.
I think it was
Ultra Merino against the skin's really good, and then you got your Pelotons that I like to put over that.
Yeah,
they make it really good. It's like a synthetic mix, but that wool against you is just perfect.
Yeah,
and it kind of wicks it all the way out to the outside.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you get out same with the socks. I mean, normally you pull out your feet out of the boots and you step on the carpet or the linoleum floor at the camp, and and with regular socks coming out of the boots, you can feel your feet are a little damp, but you come out with those, the alpacas, and it's dry. It's comfortable.
That's right.
And then I use the on top of that, then I can wear a pair of cinched jeans. And then I got my long sleeve shirt, and then I've got a sweatshirt, and then my hunting pants, my Bass Pro pants and my Bass Pro parka. Not parka, the pullover. And I bring the parka, but I never wear it. But I'm in a different deal. Like my wife tells me, I got built-in insulation. So I never get cold. My hands, I never wear gloves. What gloves are y'all wearing?
Man, we went with... It was KUIU, of course. We were trying to get in the catalog. So if y'all are watching this, man, give me a call. I'll wear all y'all stuff.
Look, right here's a picture.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Is that a KUIU? No, that's not a KUIU ball cap.
No, that's a Roman shot.
hat.
Shot.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's a Richardson 112, baby.
Yeah, the Kenai packable gloves. I like those.
Yeah.
And I I can't remember the names of them, but they're a thin pair of gloves that I kind of use as a liner, and I always have those on. And then I'm able to throw the Kenai Packables over that and double up if I get real cold.
Yeah.
And then of course they got the down gloves.
Yeah.
I can keep in there. It's kind of like the glassing grommets, and you can throw those on, and man, it's perfect.
Good to go. Yes.
Warm. I
get frustrated. I don't know. My gloves feel like I'm not spotting the animals I'm looking for because I have my gloves on. Is what it feels like. Man, I fling them off and I'm bearing down trying to get in those binos or the spotting scope and find them. And I just use most of the time. I do have some down gloves. And I'm pretty sure they're Bass Pro. I'm sitting here making fun of you, and I'm doing the same thing. So, but I've got the same gear I've had now since 2016. You know, it's held up. I think I bent down in them the other day and ripped a crotch out of them on the all dad hunt. So I think I might be done with my pants. But
oh boy,
a little broken
heart. I
heart.
went behind you.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, that's what I was running on that, and then I had the parka. And Megan always steals my parka. That thing is warm, but all that weighs. So the clothes y'all are wearing are lightweight, and the stuff I'm wearing is not. And most of the time now, I don't even. I don't even know if I wore hunting pants or anything on the Colorado trip. Chris, did I? I think I was in jeans the whole time. I don't.
Yeah, you were in jeans.
Yeah,
the whole
time.
Sweatshirt. Yep.
And put that parka on every once in a while. That pullover every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But because I just feel restricted in those clothes.
Yeah.
You know, and I got my regular jeans and just hiking boots. I can feel like I suck less wind.
And I kind of give you an idea on basically what we had out there and what we look like.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a full kit, basically. Yeah. You know, Dwayne's got the bigger pack.
Yeah.
Do you know what size Kuiu pack that was?
7,800, but I had the top out of it because I carry a lot of extra socks and stuff in the in the hood part. So I took the hood part out of it, and I just had the bottom portion of the 7,800.
Yeah.
All right, and there's so many cool things and neat things that you need to bring, and you can fit in these bags, which is so nice. So you can see right here, he's got his little squeeze bag right there. Yeah. And then he's got an attachment somewhere. I can't remember if it's the left or right side where you can sling your rifle and have your rifle hang on the bag as well.
Yes.
That's a handy feature I like on packs.
Right. And what's cool about his Spartan tripod is it can turn into
walking sticks.
Walking sticks.
That's right.
And it's
constantly using the walking sticks.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, when I was out there, I had, you know, one or two tripods that I'm, you know, trying to hang. And even though they're 2 vets and they're light and they're super great tripods, again,
it's weight.
Yeah. And, you know, when you're humping out there in those tussocks and tundras, it wears you down quick. You wouldn't think so. Like looking at the pictures and stuff, the ground looks fine. Mm-hmm. And this is not not really like the tundras where this picture was, but when I go to some of the other ones, you could tell it's just really spongy and wet.
Yeah.
So you're constantly, you know, sinking down as you're hiking and walking around. It's just walking around like a swamp almost, like a thick swamp.
That's
just a marsh. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, and one thing I can't stress enough, just thinking about the packs, there's so many different pockets and stuff on it. Makes it really nice because you can compartmentalize everything that you have, but we're creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. Make sure you use the compartment every time. So my spotting scope's in one, my tripod's in the other, my gloves are always in the same spot, my jet boil's all in the same spot, my spoon has to go in one little pocket. And if you get outside of that and you start mixing things up, you can get lost out there pretty quick because things happen fast. Yeah. You know, you're constantly changing herds of caribou, stuff like that. And if you reach into a pocket and your spotting scope's not there, whatever else, you'll go into a panic because you didn't put it in somewhere that you're not used to reaching. So always, always, always put your stuff in your pack.
Same spot.
And you want to be have easy access to your rain gear, your super downs, and stuff that you know that you could pull out in a hurry, because if you got it cinched down and your rain gear's down in the bottom of your pack, you're going to have to pull out extra tent, whatever you want to bring with you, and you're trying to get down to your rain gear and you're getting rained on. I mean,
and now everything in your pack's wet too.
Everything in your pack's wet. Yep. And then a pack cover. So my pack cover and my rain gear are always together, because I know when I pull out my rain gear, I'm going to need the pack cover too.
Yeah. Yeah. I run, you run Kuiu. I've run Tenzing for a long time. which one day I'll upgrade and change. But I've ran the Tenzing Voyager as a day pack, and then I have the I think it's a TZ6000 as my pack frame pack. But the only thing I don't like about that, the main thing I don't like about it, is when I bought it, I didn't realize I couldn't strip the bags off the frame and just use strictly the frame to pack out. So when you pack out with that rascal, it opens up, and you've got a big compartment to put meat in, but now you got to pack that and everything else with it, every load. So I learned that the hard way. So we've got just a bare, I think a Ebler stock or whatever, just a pack frame just to bring with us as well. But then the Voyager, I think it's the Voyager. I swapped this year. So I like being able to put it up on my hips, especially with the gun. That one has a gun pack, and the TZ6000 has a built-in bag. So if it starts raining, you can pull out. You have a deal for your rifle, and the pack above it, you can cover the whole pack for protection.
Nice.
But
yeah. On the Kuiu pack frame, man, you got your carbon fiber frame, and then you can change out whatever pack that you want. Yeah. So I can carry multiple packs if I'm on a trip to where I'm not out in remote nothingness. I'll normally carry my I think it's my 5500 light and then my 7800 to pack in. Yeah. And then I'll switch packs and put that smaller pack on. The cool thing about that pack frame, it's tough, man. I carried out a moose hindquarter on it last year, and it did the job. Yeah. So it's cool to be able to remove your pack from the frame, right? Put the meat on it, and then you got all those straps to be able to strap it as secure as possible, because that meat shifting will ruin your day.
Oh man, yeah, make you miserable.
Oh,
yeah, it's
miserable.
When it's locked down and solid on your hips and you can walk out. It's me and Chico killed some bulls a while back, and I'll save that full story to whenever he's on here. But we only had our day packs with us. We'd been struggling for a couple of days. We really didn't think we were going to see any elk, so we were just enjoying the view, So we got out there at like 3 a.m. We heard the elk mewing and all, and we ended up dumping 2 bulls. But so we broke them down right there, and we started walking. And before we started walking, we got a mile hike to get back to the truck. I grabbed one of the hindquarters and that ain't nothing. So I grabbed the 2 front shoulders and a hindquarter. Away we go. I got about 400 yards. I said, one hindquarter is good enough. Yeah. Then we made the next load. We looked like turtles. Every couple of seconds we were on our back sucking wind. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, having the right equipment when you get out there, and we didn't. That Tenzing it has its place. I'll find another place for it because it wasn't there. It was just not being able to strip your gear off to get to the frame and get down to business is garbage. Yeah. The other Tenzing pack I love, and I think it's the Voyager. No here nor there. Doesn't matter. So anyway, so what other equipment on that trip did you find vital that you had to have? You had a lightweight tent, I think, on that one.
Yes.
What tent were you running?
That one was Stone Glacier, I believe. Yeah. I'll bring a Stone Glacier 2P just to try to get out of the elements if you need to. Yeah. And if you don't want to bring a tent, you can actually bring a tarp, a smaller lightweight tarp. I know Argali makes one that's really good. And you want a tarp to be able to put your meat on and then have a shelter too. Yeah. So have a few tent stakes. I can use my trekking poles to be able to prop up on one side just to wherever the rain's coming from, and you can get out of the rain. And we did that a couple times. Right. We had to kind of take shelter, and man, you set up the tarp, and then you can take the tarp down, kill something, throw some meat on it.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, and I didn't. I don't think I kept a tarp in my main pack, but I never kept a tarp in my small pack before. But once you sent me that picture in New Mexico, I said, Gump's a genius, So we started keeping a little tarp in there. So that was good. And the rain gear I run is a lightweight. It's not Bass Pro, it's Cabela's rain, and it's smaller than this pack. And if I need to, I can use it as a rear bag. But it's super thin, and that's the only thing lightweight I got. When it comes down to that,
somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. But it saved me a couple times because it's super stretchy. So I told you earlier today, I had went on a bear hunt in Wyoming, and man, I looked like a little kid at PE. I had my it started raining, and I couldn't get my pants on. The side of the mountain was so steep, I just couldn't get my pants on. So I took my gun and wrapped it up in my pants, and then I took my my raincoat, put it on, zipped it up, and then it's like I said, it's stretchy. Pulled my knees up to my chest and brought my raincoat over my jeans and all, so over my legs. So Colton was laughing. Sat like that for like 2 hours. Everything was asleep.
Man, well, survival gear is very important.
Yeah,
you want your fire building stuff. You want a life bivvy and just a little bit of first aid stuff to be able to treat minor injuries, and cuts and all that kind of stuff, because it can turn into infections and stuff out there. A tourniquet, for some serious stuff. You want to be able to stop somebody from bleeding.
Yep.
And then, of course, your inReach or sat phone, something like that, to be able to get in touch with somebody in a hurry.
Right. Yeah, I travel with that inReach pretty regular. Now that most of the iPhones, you can text off of GPS now. I don't know if they work up there. And you text off a satellite. Yeah. So if it's like an iPhone, I think 15 or newer, I don't know if they have any more iPhones other than the 15. But anyway, 15 on up, you can text from the satellite now. Now, it has to be out and open. You can't receive text. From what I'm told, you can't receive text unless it's out. And it tells you which direction to aim or whatever, and then it gets signal and send it.
Right.
So,
yeah, and I want two means of being able to contact people. So the sat phone's very important to me. So where I can send out the distress signal, and then I can call, explain the situation and everything, so they can come out prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I want to surprise them out there.
Yeah.
They come out to treat a broke toe, and you just got bit by a bear.
Right.
Turns out you just needed a Snickers bar.
Yeah. On the Alaska deal, Chris went with you, man, and he did a phenomenal job on pictures. I mean, the one so they had a muskox. I'll let y'all tell the story on this.
I mean, right there, not even 100 yards. It didn't even seem like in front of camp.
Yeah.
He was just relaxed as can be, just walking on by.
That's right.
And
beautiful polar bear right after that we got to watch.
Yes,
we had to go to sleep, with him out there licking his lips.
Yeah. And I have a video of the polar bear I can show, just not right here at this moment, but I'm going to pop it up on the screen so you can kind of see it. And that's the first time I've seen a bear.
And it was a
like
big bear. When y'all first sent me the
wild.
video, I was like, oh, that's a polar bear. And the more I watched him, and then when he turned, I was like, holy crap, that's a polar bear. That is a gigantic bear.
Giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had to go to sleep that night, and we were heavily armed
Yeah.
going to sleep. And one of the guys with us, boy, he's trash. He did us wrong the next day. So we were sitting in the tent. I woke up, and the sun was up, and I was just thanking God that I wasn't a bear turd, And I was relaxing, and he was over there like he was in a cocoon sleeping, And my friend come running up. He said, "Give me the shotgun, give me!" And he was ripping our tent down, trying to open it up, freaking out. I said, "Take my rifle." He was like, "No, man, it's geese." I said, "Dude, don't do that to me." And then we had an Army Ranger in the other tent, and we just learned the day before to not shoot our way. You say firewall. So we were in there going, firewall, firewall, to make sure he didn't come out and think he's back in the war and start shooting.
Yeah.
He was prepared.
Yeah. Shortly after that, he was trying to sneak up on a grizzly bear. He said he wanted to shoot it with his pistol.
Yeah,
he got within 50 yards.
Yeah.
And it saw him and took off running. He said, "You coward."
I mean, who does that? Only special forces.
Special forces.
Yes, indeed. I'm out on that one.
Yeah, that's right. So we didn't shoot a caribou on that trip, me and you. But,
No.
Nick, the Army Ranger, he shot one. And a couple weeks later, I was going on the moose trip, and I wanted you to go so bad, but you were tied up.
The time frame and everything was just,
couldn't go.
Yep.
Day number one.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
It would have been he put on a show.
Yeah.
He come out, man. He was right behind that big cow, and it was beautiful.
God,
absolutely beautiful.
Did I send you the pictures of that, Chris? I
I
did. If not, we'll get them up on here.
Yeah.
Right.
Post.
I have a picture of it somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you don't really think too much when you're out there. It's like, let's kill it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's hard to get video. I did it for years. For years, I said, we were going to go get video every time we went to hunt. We brought all the stuff. Well, I say all the stuff. I brought some selfie sticks and and the iPhones take great video. Like half the video we take is with iPhones through the spotting scope. Never happened. So this year, Chris came with us. Same with you. And man, it was a game changer. We had to slow down and make sure that what we were doing was on camera, just because we're in a different way of life now.
And I didn't carry my spotting scope on this one because normally I can set it up with my mag view and I can get it on film, be able to shoot it. But the guide was trying to sit there and kind of hold it in the spotting scope. So we did get the shot, but it was just a little messy. Yeah. So, but day number 1, we hunted that morning, went out and found this big moose, and he was bedded up, and so ended up shooting him right over 450 yards. And he didn't go 10 yards. Put 2 bullets in him just in case, just 'cause it's a really big animal. Big animal.
There he is, right here. So
yep.
It was a little album you had shared to me.
Yeah.
So beautiful moose.
Beautiful move, beautiful fronts, man.
Look at that rifle.
4x4. That was the rifle that I used.
Who made
300
that
PRC
rifle?
gets it done, baby.
Knocks them down.
Yeah, and it was a 2.5 mile hike back to the tent.
Yep, there's all the meat right
Pile of
there.
Oh yeah.
Go to the caped out. There you go, right there, top left, second to go over one, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that sucker.
Beautiful moose, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Day number 1.
Packing them out.
Day number 1.
So I mean, look at all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was the last pack right there. You got to bring out the trophy last in Alaska.
Yeah.
And you're so excited. You want to bring it out first.
No,
because
yeah.
you want to sleep with it,
That's
in your
right.
tent. Put it right beside you. Don't
right.
matter.
Yeah.
But that was the last pack. And I ate about 4 Mountain House that night.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
It's some treacherous terrain we had to go through.
On your caribou hunt, is there any gear that you wish you would have brought that you didn't bring, or is there stuff that you brought that you never ended up using?
Man, I wish you would have asked me that question before, because I'm constantly tweaking the pack. You constantly are. I'm updating my first aid stuff, updating all my stuff that are my survival gear and stuff like that. Whereas I used to probably bring a sleeping bag or a big bivvy, whereas I started getting the smaller bivvies.
Yeah, that sucker.
Yeah,
They got them down to about palm size now.
Yeah, about palm size. That's right. On the, wouldn't say on the caribou hunt, because we were able to get pretty close to where the caribou were, but binoculars with higher power.
Yeah.
So
talking about that, guys, I don't know if y'all have seen the new SIG Zulus. So I got to hunt with a set of those, just 12 power, like 2 weeks ago. And we used 10x42 binos. That's our standard bino. That's what we use. But man, we used the I think they were 12x42s, maybe 12x50s. And man, let me tell you, in that where we hunt All Dad, it's about a mile to the end. And then it loops back around. You can see it about another 1,200 to the north. Just when we get up on the property line, well, I say the property line, the ridge, and we drop down into the bowl, and that's what we have. We have a mile one way. We've got 800-900 yards behind us, and we got about 1,300 yards across. And I always have my little spotting scope because my night force is too much. So we started using the what's that spotting scope I'm using, Chris?
Athlon.
The Athlon, the small one. It's not the Neo and it's not the Cronus.
It's not the Cronus. I think it's the mid-tier line.
Yeah.
I can never remember the name
Midas,
of it.
is it? No, I can't remember. Guys, I'm sorry. But anyway, it's small. I mean, it's like that big, and it is perfect. And really, I wish I'd have had it in Colorado for the hunt this year, because the night force, again, was too much for the valley we were hunting. And this other one, you still see a mile with it. But man, we swapped to them SIG Zulu 12 power. I never got out of them. I stayed in them. Well, I don't know how many batteries I went through. They're stabilizing binos, and man, they are super clear. And I mean, they are rock solid. So I mean, you get them up, and I haven't used them in a boat or a plane or anything yet. Have you?
Yes.
Oh, dude, it's a game changer. Oh man. Oh man, they're so nice. So, So I'll be, they go up to 20 power. They make them up to 20 power. So I think 20 power may be too much just from what I was seeing through the 12s. So I think they make a 16 or an 18. So I might get the 16 or 18s, and then it'll take the place. It's nice because it takes the place of a tripod and the spotting scope. And it's just another small set of binos. So I'm just going to put them in my backpack because I'm using my 10x42s 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But I'll swap to, unless I need to film.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about that.
Well,
I'll make Chris pack that.
Normally when you're flying out, you get 75 pounds.
Yeah.
I couldn't take my spotting scope last time. So I had my binoculars, but I couldn't take my spotting scope.
Yeah.
So it'd have been nice to be able to have those binoculars.
Right.
When you're dealing with caribou, moose, stuff like that, to an untrained eye, we're used to hunting in the South.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, kind of stuff. The only thing that I'd be worried about was doll sheep, just because, you got your full curl, or you got to count the rings, got to know what it is. So it would be a little more difficult with a doll sheep for me to go to those right now. It's only because I'm not used to it. But with a moose or a caribou, I mean, normally you can tell with your eyeballs.
Yeah.
He's a shooter.
Right.
And then with having those binoculars, you can go in to where you can see, what's his brow tines look like? What's his tops look like? What's his fronts look like? Does he have shovels? That kind of stuff. And those binoculars would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. We've got a pair at the shop that just come in, but they're the 12s. And I know what the 12s look like. So
we're going to try them all.
Yeah. We got our next order in. We're going to
stand by.
That's it. Yeah. We will have some reports to come back on them. So after Alaska, that was it. That was your last hunt for this year.
That's right.
Was the moose.
Yes, that's right.
So to kind of just wrap it up.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else we had. We had a Colorado hunt, but anyway.
Yeah, we had the Colorado hunt. And
then, I shot that big bull I had a Colorado hunt where I shot that big
bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On day number 4. I split my head open a couple times. It was a bad angle. Yeah. And it just so happened they were filming for that. We were going to be on the Outdoor Channel on that one. And that's where I got to split my head open. Yeah.
We had to have a refresher course.
And that one was right at 450 yards.
Yeah.
So
400 is your number. And I'll tell you what, 400 is about the average. 4 to 6 is about the average shot that we come across. And we're going to get hate on that. Get closer. And guys, I don't care. Shut up. So we'll shoot them where they're at. So I'd rather get them killed than get away. And I know our capabilities. Now, if you're not capable of shooting 400 to 600 yards, don't pull the trigger. We practice constantly. I don't know how many rounds you shoot a year. I know I shoot close to 30 to 40,000 rounds a year. Chris shoots 4 or 5. You shoot, I don't know, you probably shoot 4 or 5,000 now. Yeah. And I
go through a barrel.
Yeah, go through a barrel a year.
A lot of people got to do that. I shoot maybe 18.
Yeah, 18, 20.
18, 20, that's all I need.
Yeah, once you get it though, and you understand how it works, I mean, it's not hard.
That's right.
I mean, it's really not. It's no different than shooting 100 yards, shooting 600 yards.
Yeah.
Once you get beyond 600 yards, some things start changing, but
just knowing your limits.
Yeah, know your limits.
That's right.
So,
and I am glad we're wrapping this up because I got a phone call yesterday that big old grizzly bear starting to poke his head out of the den.
Yeah.
We just built that 338 rum for me.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the maiden voyage.
Yep.
I get to shoot this one at that big old bear that's starting to wake up.
Yeah.
So his head and his paws hanging out right now. That's all that it is. There's no tracks around it or anything.
Yeah.
And my buddy spotted him, so I'm going to be heading back to Alaska tomorrow. And it's on. So that's what I got exciting coming up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to talk about that soon.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
we'll have to do, when you get that one done, we'll do a Google Meets or something.
Oh, yeah.
And get it up on here, just do a podcast like that. But I guess that's it. We'll talk about Colorado and Texas and all that on another one. But, man, I'm glad you were down.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah,
I needed a little bit of warm weather. I got to thaw out a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a little chilly up there.
Yeah, if you don't know, he's an Alaskan. So
I'm about to say, are you sweating over here right now?
Oh man,
yeah.
I got some swamp happening.
Yeah, that's right. Well, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for just watching and the feedback. Like we said, like and subscribe for us if y'all want to see some more stuff. If you have any topics, let us know. Got any questions, let us know. Got any feedback at all, let us know, guys. We thrive on that. We want to learn as well. If we're off on stuff, we want to know, want to do better as well. So Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all on the next one.